Today we're making chicken Florentine. It's a chicken thigh or breast recipe with heavy whipping cream, and we're going to throw in some of that spinach that might be going bad in the fridge so we don't waste it. It also calls for mushrooms. Typically we're not using those today, but it's an easy recipe that's all made in a cast iron skillet on the stove. Ingredients for this recipe include the bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs or breasts, 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. We actually are using coconut oil, but coconut or avocado or olive oil are among the healthy cooking oils. Avoid vegetable oil. Now, chicken broth, or because we have vegetable broth open, we're using that. Whipping cream, Himalayan pink sea salt, which is salt with the minerals and healthier for you for sure. We have pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder for spices, Italian dressing, grated Parmesan cheese, and fresh spinach. Once the oil has had a chance to heat up in your cast iron pan, put the chicken in and wait till that oil does heat up. Now, don't handle chicken with your hands. Salmonella poisoning is a real thing, and it's very, very dangerous. So try never to handle chicken with your hands. Use tongs to keep safe and healthy. Cook these on each side for about 6 to 8 minutes until the skin is thoroughly cooked. While your chicken is cooking, go ahead and get your upcoming ingredients measured out and ready to add. And then we have 3 of them. We're still cooking the chicken. About 8 minutes on each side to get it fully cooked through, almost fully cooked through, before we proceed. Now the recipe says cook the chicken on each side for 6 to 8 minutes, but I never find that's long enough. And with chicken, you can't be too careful. So make sure you invest in a good pocket thermometer. I have a digital one. I got it at Winners. It wasn't expensive, and it tells you specifically what the temperature is inside each breast, and you're aiming for at least 167 Fahrenheit to make it safe. I popped the lid on the cooking chicken just to speed up the cooking process. Not the greatest idea for the best flavor. However, I didn't want my chicken to burn, so that's what I chose to do. Now, we're going to transfer the chicken to a plate and add the rest of the ingredients. But first, you're going to turn that temperature way down because one of your ingredients is whipping cream, and we don't want that to boil and curdle. So it's 1 cup of whipping cream, 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth or vegetable broth, and your spices. It's 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Oh, we're boiling over. Cast iron holds its heat, so I probably was a little late at turning down the heat. My mistake. Don't make the same one. I've already ground the Himalayan salt because it's really hard to hold a camera and grind salt. So that's already done. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, that's 1/4 each. 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Those are the spices. We've turned the heat down already, and we're just going to let that incorporate all those flavors for 3 to 5 minutes. We're also going to add the spinach and the Parmesan cheese as soon as we mix in all the spices. So we're going to add that spinach right in. Nice fresh spinach. The great thing about finding this recipe is that I had bought lovely fresh spinach at a farmer's market. I didn't want to waste it. I used a bit, but I still had a lot left in the fridge. So in order to really get the goodness out of nice fresh spinach and how healthy it is, I just searched for a recipe that called for spinach, and here we are, chicken Florentine. And next, 3/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You can also use shredded Parmesan, but that's quite expensive. So we went with the grated, and it's still going to give it that nice, rich, cheesy flavor. Now that's really settled down as far as the heat goes. We can increase the temperature a little bit. Remember, we don't want that whipping cream to come back up to a boil. That's not good. But I think we saved it this time. So once we get all that in, it takes no time for the spinach to wilt. And then we reinsert the chicken into the dish. Put a lid on it and cook it for another 3 to 5 minutes. Just to get all the flavors in there. Now remember, you can also add mushrooms to this dish, which is originally what the recipe calls for. We didn't have any on hand, so we just left it out, which my 15-year-old will be thrilled about. Not a mushroom fan. Put the lid on, 3 to 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, this chicken still wasn't ready, just as I suspected. So, with the pocket thermometer, now with another 5 minutes under our belt, we're checking the internal temperature of the largest chicken breast. And there we go, look at that. We're finally above 168. Look at that, 172. A temperature that I'm comfortable enough feeding to my family. A simple dish in a skillet with chicken. We chose to serve it alongside rice and a mixed salad of kale, broccoli, and cabbage. Enjoy!